let's talk about some awesome crochet patterns that were released this April. Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with y'all today. All right, so today we are going to be talking about garments, patterns for the home, and accessories. And all of these patterns are free, and they're either free on the designer's blog or as a download. And of course, I'll leave everything that I talk about today in the description box below. All right, so let's get started with garments. The first one we have is the front tie vest designed by Liz Salazar for Premier Yarns. So this one calls for air weight, and the bust circumference ranges between 34 to 66 inches. And in centimeters, that is 86.4 to 167.6 centimeters. Now, the hook size you will need is a 4mm G hook, and the skills that you will need include chain, single crochet, double crochet, slip stitch, and seaming with the mattress stitch. It is worked in pieces from the bottom up, and then it is seamed. All right, let's jump to our next one. We have the Lacy Tee designed by Liz Salazar for Premier Yarns. And this one calls for DK weight yarn. My dog wants my gloves. I'm going to share these with you all a little bit later, but he is just dying to get them. So I don't know if you all can see him down here, but anyway, he wants these gloves. All right, so it calls for DK weight yarn, and the bust circumference is between 32 to 62.5 inches, and that is 81.3 to 158.8 centimeters. All right, so you will need a 4.5mm crochet hook, and the skills that you'll need in order to make this tee include chain, slip stitch, single crochet, double crochet, and seaming with the mattress stitch. And so this project is worked flat from the bottom up in two pieces and then seamed together. Okay, so our next pattern is the Garden Glow Cardigan designed by Rachel Milsner of Evelyn and Peter Crochet. This one calls for a DK weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 28 to 62 inches. So that's a really nice size range. And in centimeters, that's 71.1 to 157.5. You will need a 4mm G hook for this one. And the skills you'll need to know include chain, single crochet, back loop only, half double crochet, and slip stitch. Also, it is worked bottom up, and it features a moss stitch fabric. All right, next one is the Airy Tee designed by Rachel Alford of Cozy Nook Designs. This one calls for a DK weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 30 to 62 inches. And in centimeters, that is 76.2 to 157.5. You will need a 4mm G hook for this project, and the skills you'll need to know include chain, double crochet, single crochet two together, slip stitch, and yarn over. And so this pattern is crocheted from the bottom up, and it features a cap sleeve. All right, so our next one is the Esperanza Tee, and it is designed by Allison Green for Knitty Magazine. So the yarn weight is fingering weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 35.5 to 68 inches, and that's 90 to 173 centimeters. You will need a 3mm crochet hook for this pattern, y'all. Oh my gosh, that is such a tiny hook, but if you don't mind, I think it'll be great for you if you like that sort of thing. Okay, so the skills you will need include chain, single crochet, double crochet two together, single crochet, treble, You know what? Sometimes I want to say triple, sometimes I want to say treble, but it's a treble 2 together and also a double crochet 3 together. The top begins with lace panels for the front and back. Then, after joining the shoulders, the sides of the top are worked together in double crochet along the sides of the shoulders. Yeah, along the sides of the panels. Then the side seams for the body are created with slip stitches, and the short sleeves are worked in turned rounds. A few rounds of single crochet trim the neck and the hem edges. And so this is the good thing about these patterns being free, is that I am able to open all of them or download all of them and read the construction and then kind of take notes for you all so you all know how these things are constructed. But yeah, definitely check this pattern out. The next pattern we have is the Thicket Cardigan, designed by Jess Compton of Make and Do Crew. So this one calls for worsted weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 31 to 59 inches, and that's 78.7 to 149.9 centimeters. You will need 2 hook sizes for this one. You will need a 6mm J hook and a 5.5mm I hook. So the skills you will need in order to make this cardigan include chain, half double crochet cluster, half double crochet 2 together, single crochet in the back loop only, slip stitch, and yarn over. And this pattern has instructions on how to make the sweater longer. So you have the option of more like a cropped length, and then you have more of like a hip length. So whatever you would like, this pattern has different lengths for you. Okay, our next one is the 7314 bomber jacket, designed by Sam Sabito for Wool Warehouse. All right, so this one calls for DK weight yarn, and it has several sizes. Okay, so it has sizes 0 to 16 years. And then that's for children. And then for the adults, they have extra small through 5XL. And the bust circumference for the adults range between 30 to 63 inches, which is 76 to 160 centimeters. So if you're looking for a pattern that is good for the whole family, this pattern is it. This pattern, like, you can make stuff for everybody in the family. It's a really good pattern. So I really like that. Now, you will need a 4mm G hook. And the skills include chain, double crochet, treble crochet, magic ring, double crochet 2 together, and yarn over. And this project would be great for mini skeins and scrap yarn. We all have scrap yarn. We may all have mini skeins. So if you're looking for a way to use them up, this jacket is for you. All right, so let's move on to accessories. Okay, the first accessory we have is the Easy Granny Stitch Bandana, designed by Viv Crochets. And this one calls for DK weight yarn. And the finished size, or the long side of the triangle, is 19.1 inches. And that's 48.5 centimeters. You will need an H hook, which is a 5mm. And you will need to know how to do the cluster stitch, picot, a single crochet, double crochet, and slip stitch. And I really like that mesh stitch fabric. I think that's really nice, and it's going to be really pretty on someone's hair, or either like as a necktie. You know, you could wear a bandana as a necktie as well. Okay, so our next pattern is the Granny Square Bucket Hat, designed by Amy Lehman of Amy's DIY Fugal Life. And this one calls for worsted weight yarn. And each granny square measures 5 by 5 inches, or 12.7 by 12.7 centimeters. So that kind of gives you an idea of the size of the hat. Now, it calls for a 4mm G hook, And the skills are very simple for this one, y'all. You only need to know how to chain, double crochet, and single crochet. So if you're looking for an easy breezy pattern, this bucket hat is perfect for you. Okay, I really like that ruffle brim. I think that's really cool. And you know, I'm trying to think. I don't wear a lot of granny squares. I don't. And I like granny squares. I just don't wear a lot of them. So I feel like that pattern would be like a good way for me to start wearing granny squares. All right, our next pattern is the Easy Market Bag designed by Tiffany Griffin of Beautiful Dawn Designs. So this one calls for worsted weight yarn, and it's 13 inches tall, not including the strap, and it's 12.5 inches wide. So in centimeters, that's going to be 33 inches tall and 31.8 inches wide. Centimeters wide. I'm giving y'all the centimeters now. I get mixed up with all these conversions. But anyway, it calls for a 4.0 millimeter G-hook. And you will need to know how to chain, do some increases, half double crochet, and slip stitch. And I really like this bag. I think it would be great for the beach, farmer's market, especially like if you make it like in a nice cotton yarn. I could definitely see that. Of course, you can make it in any kind of yarn you want to, but I think it would be really nice as like a little beach bag. Okay, so the next pattern we have is the Gradual Beginner Shawl designed by Serena Singh of The Crafty Crocheter. So this one calls for DK weight yarn, and the finished size is 42 by 56 by 36 inches. And in centimeters, that's 107 by 142 by 91.4. And that's length times width times height. So you need a K-hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter. And this is a Tunisian crochet pattern. So I had to sneak one in. I don't know how to Tunisian crochet, but maybe this pattern can inspire me to learn. So you will need to know how to do some Tunisian crochet stitches, including the Tunisian simple stitch, the Tunisian knit stitch, the Tunisian full stitch, the Tunisian chill stitch, wow, and the last Tunisian stitch. And I think this would be a great pattern for Tunisian crochet beginners. At least that's what the pattern says. The designer feels like it would be great, but I feel like it would be great because when I was reading the pattern, like this is a very, very detailed pattern. And I think it would be great for those that are just trying out Tunisian crochet. Okay, so let's talk about our next one, and it is the Izabela Shawl, designed by Wilma Westenberg of Well Made. Now, this one calls for worsted weight yarn, and the width is 48 inches, or 122 centimeters, and the height is 22 inches, or 56 centimeters. And you will need a J-hook, which is a 6.0 millimeter. And the skills that you will need in order to make this shawl include magic ring, chain, slip stitch, double crochet, single crochet, front post double crochet, and the V-stitch, also the puff stitch. So quite a lot here. And it is an elegant crochet design with the easy 6-row repeat. So if you don't mind that 6-row repeat, this shawl would be beautiful for you. I think it is stunning. I love the fabric that it makes. It almost looks like waves. It's beautiful. Okay, let's talk about patterns for the home. The first one we have is the Little Love Notes Blanket designed by Deidre Uys. See, I was doing so well. Y'all know me in names by now. It's Uys, however you pronounce that. And she is, her company is Look at What I Made. So this one calls for DK weight yarn. And the finished size is 47 by 65 inches or 120 by 165 centimeters. Now you will need a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook, and you'll need to know quite a lot of skills in order to make this blanket. Those skills include chain, back post, double crochet, double treble crochet. That's interesting. How do you do a double treble crochet? Maybe it's like, you know what? I'm not even gonna think about it. double treble crochet. All right, so you will also need to know how to do a front post, half double crochet, single crochet, and treble crochet. Now this blanket features 59 heart motifs and it is bordered with even more little tiny hearts. So this blanket is full of hearts. Our next pattern is the checkered flower blanket designed by the Turtle Trunk. So this one calls for Aran weight yarn, and the finished size of the blanket is 40 by 50 inches, or or in centimeters, it's 101.6 by 127. But the size of the blanket is customizable, so yours might be smaller or bigger than the sample size. And you will need a 5mm H hook. And to make this blanket, you just need to know a few simple skills, including chain, half double crochet, foundation half double crochet, and single crochet. And this blanket features 20 crochet flowers, and then the squares are joined together with an invisible join, and the blanket features a simple border using all of the colors. So this one would be really fun picking out colors. I think that would be wonderful. All right, our next pattern is the stacking storage baskets designed by Krista Lynn of The Secret Yarnery. So this one calls for worsted weight yarn. And in terms of the finished size, the size is customizable because basically you just build a flat base. You crochet a flat base, and once you get to the size you want, you crochet up. So you crochet straight up to get the size that you want. Now, you will need a 5mm H hook, and in order to make these little baskets, you will need a single crochet, or to know how to do single crochet, increases, back loops, and slip stitch. Now, this is a very easy beginner pattern. It lets you make sturdy, stackable baskets in any size, and they are perfect for yarn storage, home organization, everyday use. I think they would be great for stitch markers, progress keepers, maybe like some little scissors. I think that would be amazing. So let's talk about what I am wearing. I am wearing the Elegant Wrist Warmers designed by Julie Fort of Julie's Knit and Crochet Designs. This is a free pattern and I made a video all about it. And so what I'll do is link my Ravelry page below so you can see my notes and also see the link to the video that I made about it. So definitely check these out. I love them. And yeah, they feel amazing. Okay, so what were your favorite patterns that we talked about today? What are some new patterns that you found this April? Definitely let me know. Share with the class. We would love to all know. So yeah, let us know what patterns have you found, whether they're free or not. Share them in the comments below. And also, I knit and crochet, and so I will be making a knitting roundup of free patterns that I found in April as well. I'm going to try to get this one out in April, but it might come out in May. I'm not sure. But anyway, I will be doing a knitting roundup of free patterns of April patterns. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And yeah, let me know what you worked on while watching, or did you just chill? I love reading you all's comments, so definitely leave me a comment. Also, feel free to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll know when I'm posting next. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, bye!